So there's the Dave Ramsey camp, live poor, never finance any debt, whatever. And then there's kind of the Kiyosaki, rich dad, poor dad of, make good investments, leverage yourself as much as you can, be knowledgeable about credit, get the lowest interest rate you can, invest in yourself, invest in your business, leverage real estate, leverage business debt, and aim for the stars and, go that direction. And I probably fall somewhere in the middle, but I feel like these two camps, the Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman versus the rich dad, poor dad, leverage, invest, buy as many assets as you can because asset appreciation and inflation will take care of you. Either as it pertains to credit or your personal opinion, having worked in real estate, mortgage, credit finance, seeing poor neighborhoods, doing loans in rich neighborhoods, do you have an opinion on which one of those camps is right?
Well, the old cop-out answer would be they're both right.
It's not a cop-out if you can explain it.
Dave Ramsey is a wonderful marketer. What he's selling is something that America can't do anymore. And that is because how do we buy things in America now? We buy it on credit. We have to. Okay, and then we pay off the credit cards. So, and the fact is that if you have no credit, like he wants, you pay, depending upon the state and the company, 5 times for insurance, what you would normally pay if you've got a great credit score. Okay, so if you've got no credit, you're paying more for your car insurance. We're being forced into using credit scoring. And why do we see so much advertisement for what is your credit score? Or all these apps that are coming out now say we can add this to your credit report. It's a collection device. Yeah, do I sound like an old curmudgeon? Yeah, I do. I just wish people would just wake up, pull their head out of the sand and other places, and start looking at things, start being educated about all this. We don't need, do we? Maybe we do, I don't know. We don't need to spend $200 for internet. We don't need, and I'm talking about people that have minimal income. But why do we need $200 cell phones? We're being sold on this. Is there a benefit there? Absolutely. Absolutely, there's a benefit there.
Right.
But at some point, we have to curb our spending. Why are we spending 30% interest for cards? Why do payday loans? They're charging up to 500%. How about the Native American gaming casinos and the interest they charge for borrowing? Where do they get their money from? I can tell you, they get them from banks.
Yeah.
So a bank, instead of being able to charge whatever the usury rate is, can now charge these places a different rate and make up the difference, or at least partial. It's a business. I mean, I'm tired of people getting rich. Let me finish that. I'm not tired of people getting rich. I love money. I want money. But on the backs of poorer people, that's what I got a problem with.
Yeah. No, it's a vicious cycle. I mean, I experienced it in the Army. The last year I was in the Army, I think I made $18,000 maybe. And around every military base, there's 100 freaking check cashing places. And there's, there's people walking the halls trying to give you 30% credit cards and whatnot. And, it's a big Ponzi scheme basically. And, you see people get caught in these traps where they're like, I saw this working at Washington Mutual in the early 2000s when I worked in a bank in a bank location that was not the most affluent area. It was nice, but it had a mix of working middle class, working poor, higher class, socioeconomic. And, you'd see people get into this trap of like overdraft charges, their account's a couple $100 negative. Then they get their paycheck and it's like, it covers the overdraft. It covers the payday loans. It covers their 30% interest on their credit card, and then they're broke again, and the same cycle starts over. So,
I know.
Some of it I do feel bad because I feel like it's very, very, very usury, and it's a disgusting parasitic situation on our financial financial system. And then I also think, the libertarian in me kicks in. It's like, well, they signed the check. They signed the contract. They're just uneducated. And then the more compassionate side of me goes to like, all right, well, where do we start the education? Because, I still remember the Pythagorean theorem. I never learned in junior high or high school how to balance a checkbook or what, simple interest versus amortized interest was. Like, where do we start the education to help get that generation of people that are stuck in this trap so that the next generation doesn't get stuck in the same trap? Where do you think we should start the education?
At what age level?
Or school, or is it church, or is it nonprofits, or, should Dave Ramsey be taught?
Without having credit, it would be very difficult to start talking about FICO scoring or credit reports. But I think that would be, you got to know how to balance a budget first. And if you can't, get beyond, let's say you do that, and that should be a high school requirement, maybe even a college, first year college requirement, because that's where a lot of people are getting into trouble with the credit cards. Mm-hmm. Now it's becoming less prevalent when they kicked them off of a lot of the campuses. But I think credit scoring, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is educating people. Can I give those plugs again?
Yeah, of course. This is your show, man.
Okay. I'm doing the one on debt collection on December 7th. And that one, you can go on my website, creditgenie.us, and you can sign up for it. On December 9th, I'm doing one on credit scoring. Because I think if people were just exposed to this, it opens eyes. And we know education is a repetitive thing.
Right.
You don't learn something in the 7th grade that's not covered again in the 8th grade, that's not covered again in the 9th grade. They just build on each other.
Right.
That's what education is. And I'm really passionate about this.